Good evening, and welcome to this week's edition of The Message. I am your host, Donatus King. We'll spend this next hour with one purpose in mind, and that one purpose is delivering the message that God is Almighty. Everything that ever was, is now, or ever will be, is a piece of God. Everything that ever was, is now, or ever will be, was made by God. Everything that ever happened, is happening right now, or ever will happen, was made to happen by God. God is the master plan for all time and all creation. God is Almighty. The message is brought to you by, is produced by the Society of Knowledge Incorporated. The Society is an interdenominational ministry. Our members come from various different religious and spiritual backgrounds. We have various different religious and spiritual beliefs. Although we come from different backgrounds and have different beliefs, there's one belief that we share. There's one piece of knowledge that we hold in common. And that's the knowledge that there is a being, by no matter what name we may have been taught to call that being, by no matter what name we may have come to know that being, whether that name be God, Allah, Yahweh, Jesus, Buddha, Jehovah, nature, by no matter what name, we know that there is a being that possesses not some of the power, not most of the power, but all of the power. That's the reason we do this show, and the only reason we do this show, to deliver the message that that being, that person that I call God, that being is indeed Almighty. Today is January the 21st. I remind that fact because tonight, as we are on most nights, most Thursdays, we are live. If there's something that God has done for you in your life, a miracle that God has worked in your life, and I use that word literally, a miracle, because the God that I'm here to tell you about is working miracles. That's right. I'm not talking about used to work miracles. I'm saying is working miracles today, January 21st, 2021. God is working miracles. So if God is working a miracle in your life, I invite you to post your testimony on Facebook. Post it in the comments section. Join the Zoom meeting and proclaim your testimony. You know, maybe somebody going through something right now that they just can't overcome. Whether or not it's the loss of a loved one, whether or not it's the loss of a job, financial problems, relationship problems, health problems, no matter what kind of problem it is, somebody might be going through something right now. And they might have tried all types of relationship counselors. They may have tried all types of medicine, doctors and surgeries, and nothing could heal their problem, could solve their problem. And maybe you went through something similar. Maybe you had some problems that the doctors couldn't solve, that your pastor couldn't solve, your imam couldn't solve, your rabbi couldn't solve. Maybe you had gotten to the point where you were about to give up hope because there didn't seem to be a solution to your problem. And miraculously, God solved your problem. God healed your body, even when the medicines couldn't heal it. God solved your financial problems miraculously. Share your testimony. Because someone that might be going through something similar today, they might need to hear your testimony. Your testimony might be the one thing that they need to hear that will strengthen them, that will give them hope, that will help them hold on until God works a miracle in their lives. So again, share your testimony. I encourage you to share your testimony, whether it's on Facebook or again, you can join us, and I encourage you to join us by Zoom. We're going to get into our meeting tonight, and let's go. We have some slides we're going to share with you. We have a regular format. We have a regular format of our program, and as I said, today is January 21st. And let's see if I can do a little something here. All right, we'll have our announcements. Then we'll have our testimonies. After that, we'll have our religious spiritual study. And as we're reminded in First book of Thessalonians, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Tonight's discussion topic is chakras. Chakras, that's tonight's discussion topic. And we do have a guest, a panel member. And let me make sure I can turn my video on. All right, and we have Dr. Franklin. Good evening. Dr. Franklin, if you'll unmute your mic and all right, there it is. Good evening. How are you this evening? Okay, you muted your mic again. Unmute it. Hey, Dr. Franklin, can you unmute your mic?
Okay, so yeah, I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm on the. They were making announcements on the flights right when you asked me to speak. So give me a second.
All right, sure. We're going to go through some announcements ourselves here, and that's perfect timing. So just hang on, Dr. Franklin. And okay, as I say, tonight's discussion topic is chakras. And let's see a couple more slides. And after we finish that, we have our words of inspiration that's coming out of the book of Exodus, chapter 9, verses 20 through 35. You see on your screen now, that's our main website. And that's www.godisalmighty.org. That's www.godisalmighty.org. I invite you to log that into your web browser 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit that website, and there are there are links to all of our social media platforms. We have a blog page, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. All you have to do is go to our main website, and there are links on there. You can just click on the link, bring you to our social media platforms. Tonight, the message is coming out of New Orleans, Louisiana, but on the first and third Sundays at 9 p.m., it's delivered by Messenger Ryan King and Messenger Corey Levier on Facebook Live at The Messenger. So The Messenger has its own webpage, Facebook page rather, and on the first and third Sundays, you can see The Message, and that's coming out of Lafayette, Louisiana. It's produced by the Lafayette, Louisiana Center of the Society of Knowledge. Again, we're going to start our religious spiritual study, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Let's see if this might be a good time for Dr. Franklin. Is it a good time for you, Doctor?
Yes, it is. How you doing, Donatus? I'm on my. As a matter of fact, I'm on my way to Philadelphia and then to Jersey to do some of the work you were talking about today. I was glad to see that you had opened up a platform where people can openly talk about the chakra system and what that means to us in the future, in the coming times.
All right. Well, look, this is good. I have a little bit preparation. I have a few slides just to give some overall background about the chakras, and then after that, if you can, we're going to open the floor up, and we'll let you, educate us and share your knowledge with us. So just a little overall general background about the chakras. So if you hang with us, Doctor. And matter of fact, before I do that, I didn't give you a proper introduction, but we have with us as a panel member tonight is Dr. Enchante Franklin. Doctor, if you want to just give us a little background before we go into this general overview.
Okay, so I am a native of New Orleans, Louisiana. I've been back and forth between New Orleans and Georgia for the last 6 years. So a lot of my work is around energy centering and pulling out that energy that's more like Christ-like energy. But through the chakra system, it's nothing more than our endocranial system. It's how we pull in energy from different places. So, for instance, if you manifest something, if you say that I'm going to give someone something, I'm going to do something from your heart energy, that's your green energy. And when you give from that place, it has to manifest in that person's life from that place. So you can see that love birthing itself, but among other things, helping women to deal with that womb energy in the root chakra that blocks women from going forward and doing the work that God has called them to do. So, and then with college students, working with them with the blue, the throat chakra, helping them to express themselves and really define what it is that they want to do in their future. Not us, not what we want to do, but what the energetic fields within them are calling them to do in each stages of their lives. So
All
that's
right.
my work.
All right. What we're going to do now is thank you for that intro. And one of the things, Brother Israel, thank you for joining us on Facebook. What we're going to do now is we're going to go through a few slides and a general background about the subject, and then we're going to come back and open our panel and have a real discussion about chakras. Eh,
So Donatas, I may have to leave when we pull out, but depending on if you're still on when we land, I'll log back on.
all right. All right. Well,
Okay.
this is good. Let's get right into it. As long as you can be with us, that's fine. Okay, you heard the doctor speak about chakras, and Stacy, Sister Stacy, thank you for joining us. There are mind research, and again, depending upon where you research, but typically there are 7 recognized chakras, and let's see. Think of the chakras as spinning wheels of energy, wheels that spin simultaneously to create a combination of energy and life force. This energy and life force runs from the root base of the body, the root chakra, to the crown of the head, the crown chakra, and then beyond. And as you see on your screen now, the root chakra at the bottom of the body, then the sacral chakra, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. When the chakras are balanced and spinning effortlessly, life is beautiful. We experience a sense of fullness in all aspects, emotional, mental, and physical, mind, body, and soul. Our relationships, conversations, actions, goals, and interests just flow. A balanced chakra system can be thought of as refreshing water running down a stream, gently caressing everything it meets, and continuing down its journey with ease, grace, and fluidity. When the chakras are misaligned, one being overactive and another being underactive, life can be challenging. This misalignment might not be apparent on the surface, but delve down a layer or two and you'll quickly notice where your work lies. The seven chakras are part of the subtle body or the energetic body. Now that's something very similar to the concept you'll see in the Bible about having the carnal body, the physical body, and the spiritual body, the spirit man. It's the part that we can't see or touch, but can always feel. That's the energetic body. It's the part of us that makes the heart beat, the piece of us that feels a gut intuition, and the energy within us that connects, moves, and creates our being. So now we're going to have a little brief discussion about the chakras. And the root chakra, or Muladhara chakra, is the first wheel of energy, and it begins at the base of the spine. This chakra is associated with the earth element and is directly linked to the roots we've planted, how deep they are, how strong they are, and how supportive they are. The Muladhara chakra symbolizes root or fundamental issues: shelter, safety, security, water, food, and family. When this chakra is balanced, we feel grounded, secure, and safe. Our lives flow gracefully with a calm and steady energy. When out of alignment, life is tough. We feel insecure, fearful, and our survival mode turns on. This can lead to weight gain, constipation, exhaustion, depression, anxiety, and stress. The next chakra, the Svadhisthana or sacral chakra, is the second wheel of energy and represents our creative and sexual energy within the body. The sacral chakra is associated with the element of water. When water comes to mind, we imagine fluidity, versatility, and freedom. The sacral chakra is just that. It's our ability to be sexual, creative, emotional, and in tune with ourselves and others. When this chakra is balanced, life is filled with abundance, creativity, movement, procreation, pleasure, and fulfilling relationships. Sister Ola, thank you for joining us on Facebook. Sister Sheila, thank you for joining us on Facebook. I invite all of our Facebook viewers to hit that share button, hit that like button, start a watch party. The more, the better, and want to make sure we have the opportunity to share this information. When out of alignment, you can experience emotional instability, fear of change, sexual dysfunction, depression, lack of creative energy, chronic low back pain, reproductive issues, and other pelvic lower issues. And a saying that goes with that is, I flow with the rhythms of life. The third chakra is the Manipura, or navel chakra, and please, I apologize. Now, please forgive me for butchering some of these names, but I think it's written. I don't know if it's Hindu names, but I'm doing the best that I can. The Manipura, or navel chakra, is the third wheel of energy and is associated with the element of fire. This chakra represents our personal power, governs our self-esteem, personal identity, digestion, and metabolism. Okay, and that's the navel chakra. When this chakra is balanced, you find that self-confidence, a sense of purpose, and self-motivation are present in your life. When presented with an issue, you'll be able to let it go and not attach to the external circumstances at hand. When out of alignment, you can experience digestion issues, low self-esteem, and have difficulty making decisions. And a saying associated with that navel chakra is, I stand in my personal power. The next is the Anahata chakra, also known as the heart chakra. The heart chakra is the fourth wheel of energy and is the bridge between the three physical chakras and the three spiritual chakras. By balancing and aligning the first three chakras, the fourth chakra is able to integrate and open. Thus, each wheel must spin simultaneously in order to remain in balance. The fourth chakra represents everything that involves love, compassion, and joy. It's one of the most beautiful yet emotional chakras for people to tap into. When this chakra is balanced, love, compassion, forgiveness, and acceptance of others and yourself are all present. When out of alignment, you can experience poor circulation, high or low blood pressure, codependence, manipulative behaviors, and feelings of unworthiness. Associated saying, I open my heart to fully living. The next chakra is the Vishuddha chakra, or throat chakra. It is the fifth wheel of energy, and it's the first of the three spiritual chakras. The throat chakra is associated with ether, or a space-like quality that symbolizes an open voice from where authenticity and truthfulness can flow. The fifth chakra represents your ability to speak your truth, express ideas clearly, and be in tune with both your inner and outer intentions. Because it's the first of the spiritual chakras, the lower four chakras must also be in tune. When this chakra is balanced, you speak, listen, and express yourself through a higher form of communication and authenticity. When out of alignment, you can experience the inability to speak your truth, to ask for what you need, want, or desire, and it can result in a sore throat, thyroid problems, and neck shoulder pain. An associated saying is, I follow and speak my truth. The next chakra is the Ajna chakra, or the third eye chakra. It is the sixth wheel of energy, and it represents our intuition, or sixth sense. Its location is between the eyebrows, is integral to our lives and how we perceive the exterior world, as well as our own interior dialogue. When this chakra is balanced, you thrust your intuition to face life challenges and decisions. The ego dissolves into the background, and you can begin to uncover what your truly value is in life. When out of alignment, you can be cynical, too attached to logic, untrusting, and possibly have problems with vision, headaches, and migraines. Associated saying is, I follow the path of truth and intuition. And the seventh chakra is a Hasarara chakra. The Sahasrara, or crown chakra, is the seventh and final chakra. It represents our spiritual being. This chakra represents that you are a divine being having a human experience on this earth. When working on this chakra, you are acknowledging to yourself in the world that you are ready to dissolve separation, that you are ready to integrate with everything, and that you are ready to transcend the physical world for a more spiritual experience. When this chakra is balanced, a source of enlightenment, spiritual connection, and connection to our higher selves is present. When out of alignment, you mistake happiness as an exterior trait when in truth, it's created from within. Or quite the opposite, you can be hypersensitive to the divine aspect of self and struggle to function in normal day-to-day activities. An associated saying, there is only divine oneness. Now the next, in associating with the chakras, you see on the screen now is the Kundalini, okay, the Kundalini, all right? And that symbol, you see a representation of the Kundalini. And as you see the seven chakras, starting from the root chakra all the way to the crown chakra, and you see these two serpents, snakes, rising up. This is what's taught and taught to be the Kundalini, that energy, that life force emanating, beginning in the root chakra and working its way up through the various chakras until it gets to the crown chakra, and it exits through the crown chakra into that indeed oneness. In Hinduism, Kundalini is a form of divine feminine energy believed to be located at the base of the spine in the Muladhara, the root chakra. Kundalini energy rests like a coiled serpent at the base of the spine. When this dormant energy flows freely upward through the seven chakras and leads to an expanded state of consciousness, it's known as a Kundalini awakening. And we actually, I see we have Dr. Franklin joining us on Facebook. Hopefully she'll be able to get back on Zoom, because Dr. Franklin is studying now. My understanding that she's actually studying for a theological degree. So, you know, and she has done some studying in relating to the chakras. So that connection, Brother Israel, that you were making just now between Christianity and the chakras, I've had a brief conversation with Dr. Franklin, and that's a connection even in her work through Christianity, discussing that information relating to the chakras. And I just want to throw something out that in a little bit studying that I've done, is something that I read through just now, and is speaking about this awakening, this Kundalini awakening, that when, according to some teachings, when you get to that seventh crown, that seventh chakra, rather, the crown chakra, a saying that's associated with that and with that spiritual enlightenment is that there is only divine oneness, only divine oneness, that there is only oneness, that all is one, that we are all part of one. And the striking thing about that is that's a part of what we believe here in the society, that everything is a piece of the one, right? Brother, and as I see, because Dr. Franklin has posted that the chakra system is the discernment odometer, and there are more than 7 chakras. Even the earth has them. And that's something that either one of our panel members might want to jump in and share on that, as far as the different chakras and how many, and the different teachings that recognize different chakras, and just expand on that a little bit. Brother Israel?
Yeah, well, she's correct. She's correct with that information from my studying the earth. because everything has a magnetic, electromagnetic field, electromagnetic body. So it has to has poles or opposites, complementary. So yeah, the earth itself has poles or opposites, which therefore makes it has a core, a center, and a root chakra. So yeah, the earth has chakras, and you know, just to jump back into the thing about more chakras, yeah, there's some teachings that say there's 144 chakras. If you study the Hindu Jainism teachings, they teach about 144 chakras, which is symbolic to the 144 people called up to heaven, you know, in a biblical sense. And they got simple teachings to where they teach about the 21 chakras, which you can relate to Revelations, well, the which I wanted to get into. I won't go ahead of myself, but yeah, I'll just start with the 7 chakras and the 21 chakras, because the 21 chakras relate to something in Revelations.
All right. Well, I mean, at this time, I guess the best way for us to go now, because you know, we have our 3 panel members that are here on Zoom. We have Dr. Franklin that's joining discussion through Facebook, and we're going to do something just a little bit different as far as just opening the floor up. And Brother Israel, as you were saying that you had some more information about the 21 and the 144, just roll with it. Okay, just roll with it. And I want to thank Sister Veronica for joining us on Facebook. Sister Veronica, please hit that like button, hit that share button, start a watch party, because we're talking about chakras now. You know, chakras. Some people are familiar with the terminology, familiar with the concept. Some are not. And it may be some of your friends that would be interested in this discussion about chakras. So hit the like button, hit the share button, start a watch party. Brother Israel, that 21 chakras and 144 chakras. Why don't you, go into that a little bit more?
I'm try to keep it real brief because there's so much stuff. But the 144 chakras is symbolic to I guess a base 144 electrical system that's at the bottom of our spine, the cocktail of the root chakra, in that area that helps activates the coil, which is the energy that enters our body from the root chakra. Well, that symbolism is, from what I was told, the spine is the Jacob's ladder. The spine is the stairway to heaven, which leads to the crown chakra, the pineal and stuff. So along with the one being called up, you get the symbolism of 144 being called up to heaven because of the 144 electrical other electrical systems that surround the root chakra. And that's some codex symbolism that's in the Bible in regards to spiritual elevation, you going into Christ or you going into heaven, And with the seals, now the 7 seals. Now there's 3 things I want to get into with the 7 seals, because you have the 7 chakras which are in us, you have the 7 seals, and I have something about the 7 prophets, how all of these things are in us. Now to start off simple, each chakra represents a gland. First of all, like the adrenal gland is the root chakra. How she said, the ovary, the testary, the pancreas, the thalamus, the thyroid, the pituitary, the pineal. These are actual glands that's in us outside of the magical spinning wheels, which they, people call chakra. So you can look at the actual glands themselves as the energy center in your body as you go up. Now, back into the 7 seal thing, is that each seal, symbolically, when Christ said you must break the 7 seals in regards to entering heaven, each seal, how the Black Hindus taught, was a chakra wheel being activated or broken or open. So upon church, each chakra system is a church also, symbolic of a church, because each, like the root chakra, it has a color, it has a gland, it has a planet, it has a whole variety of things that go with it. So they consider each chakra as a church. So when you read in Revelations and you reading that, it's not that in space these angels and these trumpets are going to be sounding. It's actually in you, as each church, each seal is being broken. That's actually symbolic to the climb of the chakra system from the root chakra to the crown chakra. And they say once you enter the heaven, that the beast, there was 7 more seals or 7 vials and 7 more something else. Well, that's symbolic to the 7 other energy fields above our head, and then the 7 other energy fields that are above our head. So it's all symbolism that's coded in the Bible too. But people take the Bible when they read that information like, it's actually going to be monsters and trumpets and the heavens busting open. But that sound and all of that starts at the throat chakra when you start to hear the sound through meditation. So I could get into all of that also. And another thing I want to touch on is that symbolically, each chakra represents a prophet. Each chakra represents a prophet that's in us. It's all symbolism, and it's all metaphysical symbolism, and it's all related to us as humans. It's not no spooky stuff. But from a biblical point of view, like Adam represents the root chakra. Adam was made for the dust, the whole, Adam being the dust, the root being the first chakra, the earth. You see the symbolism?
Right.
And, I ain't gonna read everything. And then we have how you read. The second chakra system was water, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the next great prophet after Adam was who? Noah.
Mm-hmm. Flood.
The flood, which represented the water. Then after that great prophet was Abraham, who represented, the gas of the fire, which is, the abdominal, the solar plex, the fire. And then you had the great David, which represent the etheric force of the heart, the love and all that. Then you get into, you had the prophet Moses, which represented the sound. Even though Moses couldn't speak, he had to use Aaron. But that symbolism, he couldn't speak because that's the symbolism of sound in him being that 5th chakra or whatnot. Then you had Christ, which would be symbolism of the pituitary gland, which the pituitary, the pineal and the hypothalamus, which is Joseph, Mary, and Jesus. So that 6th chakra represents Christ. And for those who don't know, that the 7th chakra represents the prophet Muhammad, being the reflective thought of the great ether, the completion of all these prophets. So symbolically, the chakra system represents the prophets, represent us. It represents our glands, and how the sister and everybody was saying, you meditate, you eat, you focus on colors. It's a variety of things that help us when you start understanding the chakra system from Indian teachings and from popular people now who are teaching it. But the Bible, from a biblical Christian, from a Gnostic Christian point of view, it always has been being taught in the Bible.
All right. We have, Dr. Franklin, actually, those of you that were watching earlier, you saw that she is on a plane right now. So she's traveling now, but she is able to communicate with us by Facebook. And she has made some comments. It is helpful to learn about the chakras one at a time and how each one is affected by the other when they are blocked or out of alignment. She commented, yes, wash each seal tells a story. Each tells a story from ancient days, records of life, and fire. I want to thank my wife for joining us. This interesting conversation, informative discussion about chakras, and it was brought up, Brother Israel, you used the term Hinduism or Hindus, and it's interesting to observe that the Hindu people are on the Asian continent, and where this religion or this philosophy or this knowledge developed. And if you travel westward, from that area, you come into areas like Arabia, and you will, and that's the cradle of what we now call Iraq, which in the past was called Babylon, when out of that region developed Judaism. Abraham came out of Babylon, and he traveled, and he was one of the founders of Judaism. So it's not strange that their beliefs, Hindu beliefs, that are similar to beliefs that we find in Judaism and that we find in Christianity and that we find in Islam. And one of the things that we talk about on this show, and we talk about this energy, and in the Kundalini, and when you talk about the chakra system, you talk about the various stages of development, where you come from the root chakra all the way to the crown chakra, and really being symbolic as far as growth and your growth and understanding who you are and what you are, until finally the ultimate enlightenment, and they call it the Kundalini awakening, is when you're awakened to know, not understand, but to know that you are indeed a part of the one, that Kundalini awakening, and that knowledge about there being a oneness. We find that expressed, Brother Israel, as you were speaking about Jesus Christ sayings. We find that knowledge that we are all part of the one. We find that in the sayings of Jesus Christ, that we're all part of one. I'm in the Father me, and you and me, and we're all part of one. The one. As the scriptures say, who? The I am. The I am. And it's wonderful when we can find this expression of knowledge, not only in Hinduism, not only in Judaism, not only in Christianity, not only in Islam, but when we can find that expression of oneness, that expression of knowledge coming straight from the one, not through any book, not through any teaching, but coming straight from the one. Brother Bishop Waters, I really would like you have something you can join with us. And I know you say you've been doing some studying, and as far as this discussion, in your knowledge,
yeah, I was reading. It's almost every spiritual group or so-called spiritual group that's bounded by religion. Almost all of them, because I was reading because Buddhism is, Hinduism and Buddhism is almost a spin-off. These other religions you mentioned, Brother Israel mentioned, are Johnny-come-lately things. So if we really be honest, if we really want to be honest, Christianity is a compilation of all those things put together that came before it, with the twist of knowledge of know thyself, to thine own self be true, know thyself. And the awakening is when the brother talk about the glands, the importance of the glands and how the glands operate, the most important being the crown of pineal gland. And so, you got your nerve chakras, you got, you could just go like you talk about the water, you talk about the because the one thing that I think that, for me, we always was taught, we get the goosebumps, we get the spirit hit me and all that. Well, the spirit is energy. And so what happens is sometimes we have, in my opinion, energy alignment. And when energy is aligning, something have to happen. And so when something happened, there's that growth, the spiritual awareness, spiritual growth. Because, because I think that the things like talking about the 12 steps, talking about the 144,000 with the symbolic to the 12 tribes times 12,000 for each tribe, and, just go on. We could go on and on and on. But the symbolism is the connectivity one half to another. Because I lately wonder how you divide 12 tribes. How, so what's the logic behind that? What's even the purpose behind it? Because it's all about oneness. But in religion tends to teach us not to seek, in other words, again, what they call understanding. Because, you got overstanding, understand, you got all kinds of standing. So understanding is when you begin to operate in wisdom of self. When you start connecting your chakras and stuff together and start activating them and they start working in concert and unity. But when energy go out, what happens? The Bible says, my word don't go out and return to me void. Why? Because words have energy power.
Right.
And that's why I said when two or three come together, touch and agree, there I'm in the midst of them. Why? Because energy is being transferred.
Right.
And we know that the earth is a magnetic field. So everything operates on energy. That's why sometimes you could think something or think about someone and it happens because you put the energy out in the field. So anyway, I think that religions do a very poor job with teaching people how to get in tune and in touch with themselves. And I think that once we start getting in touch with ourselves and understanding everything that's going on and how, if you have a car, if you take the negative pulse off, the car don't start. So how things have to come together, align, and move forward, that energy be actualized. And so I'm gonna stop there because it's interesting to me, but you, like everything else, you got so much information out there, but I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna listen.
Bishop, thank you, Bishop. I want to thank Reverend Sanders for joining us on Facebook. Dr. Franklin comments, Joseph for the root chakra. And so that's some more information that she's sharing with us. And, just as far as there was something that was said about in some studying that I've done relating to the chakras and this energy being starting out in the root chakra. And it says as far as that energy traveling up through the different chakras, and if they're aligned and everything is working perfectly and all the rest of that, it'll go up to the next level, next level, next level, until it finally reaches the crown chakra. And then the teachings are that it doesn't stop at the crown chakra, that then it goes out into the atmosphere, into the ether, goes out and makes that connection as far as that one. And that brings to mind some discussions that we've had here as far as not speaking about anything religious, not speaking about anything spiritual, not speaking about anything hocus pocus, but speaking about science, how science teaches us that there is an energy inside our bodies. And now this, I'm not talking about Kundalini, I'm not talking about chakras, I'm not talking about none of that. I'm using the language of science, biology, medicine. This energy that's inside us, I'm speaking the language of physics, this energy that's inside us that causes our brain to function through synapses. This energy that's inside our bodies. The science teaches us that this energy is not confined inside our bodies. Science teaches us that this energy flows outside of our bodies constantly. That we can put probes on our skin and pick up the energy signals. And nowadays it's gotten so sophisticated that the probes don't even have to touch our skin. And our brain waves, that energy can be picked up. So even using the language of science, not religion, not spirituality, none of that, just using the language of science, we see this refrain, we see this knowledge that there's some energy in us, that we are comprised of more than just this flesh and blood. It's every so often, there'll be generations after maybe 100 generations, 1,000 generations, that this knowledge that we share, that it has to be repeated and rephrased so that the newer generations can understand the knowledge that's been there and been around since before the beginning of time.
Right.
Brother Israel.
Right. Man, look, it's so much that I just heard. I want to chime in. First, I want to say that modern science is the language of ancient mythology. Without ancient mythology, without the spiritual systems, I ain't talking about religious mind control. I'm talking about spiritual systems. The modern scientific knowledge that we have using the word energies and all this stuff, it comes from our people. And I won't go deeper into this because we just talk about India. But if I want to take it to the home of where we get all the earth teachings and we get all the energy centers from, I could go right now, pull off my shelf, and we could go right to the Nile Valley, and I could take it to the essence of all this. Our ancestors didn't separate science and spirituality, first of all. And spirituality is secondary because it's about the soul. Now, let me move forward with this. This is more than about energy. Spirit and energy, like I told y'all on this show numerous times, a rat has spirit. A mosquito has spirit, energy. This is not about energy. People getting this twisted, and I'm just bringing realist teachings now. This is about soul ascension. This is greater than some spirit and energy, what people think this about. This, now, the little pretty stuff we talking about the Kundalini, that ain't nothing. This is really about soul elevation. This is about soul activation through spirit. So the whole thing, like I said, been around. The whole, you spoke of magnetic waves and stuff. The word wavering is written all throughout the modern Christian Bible. What y'all think wavering mean? That's meditation. And when you meditate, and people ever had a chance to meditate, you will see waves. You see waves with your eyes on a hot sunny day. So wavering and waves has been around through biblical, through scriptural information. I ain't no religion information. Now, once again, the whole thing about the root chakra and the coil that's being activated, first of all, that coil is a female feminine energy. It's a feminine thing. It's not even a male thing we talking about. We're talking about a female feminine power when we talk about Kundalini. It's the coil one. I'm moving away from all the pretty stuff because once again, for me, I deal with soul elevation, soul education. So to move away from the pretty talk, we got to understand that the activation what the Christ was talking about, wavering, Christhood with Krishna, what all the great spiritual teachers taught on the planet. It was all about how we talked about last week, the God's been tricked. It was all about getting out of this body correctly. That's why we have a spine. That's why we have an energy center. That's why we have chakras. Like we talked about last week, the 4 Lord chakras is what's destroy humans and what's keep us with this pride, this false pride, this egotism that we suffer from. All of the stuff we're talking about right now leads to this, which we talk about the solar plex. That stuff burns in people's stomach with big stomachs and all this stuff. They burning with envy, hate, jealousy, and all of that trickles down. So that the Lord vibes that people vibe off, if you want to talk, which led us to this conversation last week, we was talking about and meant destroying everything below the heart is destroyed. That's why we see the Christ like this, the heart of flame. Everything starts at the fourth chakra, the flame of the heart. And from the heart on up, you liberate. That's what that picture, when you see that white Jesus with that heart of that flame, he letting you know that's symbolism. That's our symbolism. It might be a white picture and all that, but that's our symbolism that I understand, that I'm saying, that I'm teaching with the people. That's chakra symbolism right there. The heart is the flame, and that's where everything starts in the heart. So this is about soul ascension, not no spirit, not no energy. That's the vehicle. And I'm gonna chill with that.
All right. Well, we have thank you for that info, and we have a few more minutes left in the program. And as we can see, that soul ascension and that heart of flame, we can see that flame burning in you this evening, Brother Israel. And it's a great topic, a great discussion. I want to thank all of our panel members. Thank Dr. Franklin, even as she is flying on her journey on the airplane. Thank you for joining us. Thank all of our Facebook viewers. And as we close out, we're going to give each of our panel members, a couple of minutes to make some closing comments. Brother Israel, why don't you lead us off, and then Bishop Waters, you can follow.
All right. Well, once again, to talk about the topics, chakras is all about when you move away from the tip of the iceberg and you go under. This deals with learning how to soul ascend, learning about what the soul is about, learning about what this feminine energy about that you always hear me talk about on here, learning about what the ancient blacks of the Nile taught and what the ancient blacks of India taught and what the modern blacks of the Gnostics taught, how to properly get out of this body upon your deliverance from the body. So in a nutshell, to me, that's what the chakra system about, outside of health, mental health, goodwill, and those things, which are necessary.
All right. You just named the topic for our next week discussion, and that is soul ascent. Okay, soul ascent. All right, Bishop, you have some closing comments, and Brother Kenneth, thank you for joining us on Facebook. Please hit that like button, that share button, start a watch party so we can share this information with all of our friends. Bishop, closing comments.
Again, this is a broad subject, because when we talk about the soul, I guess you just have to comprehend, put this thing into proper perspective. Because when we talk about soul and we talk about energy, I mean, the concept, but I get where brother coming from. But I was listening while you were talking about signs, and signs in mathematics it derived from one of our great ancestors called Imhotep. And so Imhotep was teaching, he started to balance out. And so I think that we have to learn, again, it's about self-mastery. So when brother talk about the soul of man is what? The subconscious, or that's what they teach, the subconscious that not your day-to-day, but the very essence of who you are. So in this, once you purify that and get that, then something have to happen from that. And so when I talk about energy, I'm not, I don't believe in religion and stuff. I'm out of that. But I do believe in connectivity, and I believe in wavelength. I was watching a program where Nikola Tesla invented a way to use electricity around the world from one base place. And he intended it to be free, but they wouldn't allow it to happen. So the world do not want us to tap into our deep inner self. And when we tap into our deep understanding, that's what we have to present to the world and in ourselves. So I don't know if I understand brother correctly when he said about the soul and preparing your soul. Is that for to go back into the stardust like they say we come from, or is that
Nah,
while we
you will call and I can explain it to you, man.
We're gonna that's the topic for next week's show, and that's soul ascent. That's our topic. So you best believe, and Brother Israel, you know that I'm gonna do some studying on this so that I can be prepared to join the discussion. But
You're not finding that on the internet. You know what I mean? This is
yeah,
a collection. We'll wait to talk about it, but
yeah,
this is a collection of.
all right. What soul ascent? That's it next week. And as I say, it might not be something that you find on the internet. It may be something
Nah,
that the Almighty can just give straight to you, bypass the internet, bypass a book, bypass everything, and just give
there
you
you
that
go.
knowledge straight up.
There you go.
Uh,
There you go.
as a closeout tonight, as I do every week, recognizing indeed that God is Almighty, recognizing that our panel members tonight, our viewers on Facebook, they were only participating through the will of the one. It was not by happenstance. It wasn't because of anything that we planned that we were joined together here tonight. It's only, and this is my knowledge, whether it's your knowledge, whether you accept it, whether you believe it or not, this is my knowledge, that this was supposed to be, that there is a being that planned this out millions and millions of years ago, that planned on January 21, 2021, we would have this discussion. And I thank that being that I call God, I thank that being for allowing me to share this time with you, for allowing us to share this time together, for allowing us to share this knowledge. And as I always close, I know that there is indeed an almighty power, an almighty being. And my prayer, what I'm asking right now, is that in this upcoming week, that almighty being, that personally I call God, that God blesses you and yours with peace. Until we meet again here next week on The Message, may God Almighty bless you and yours with peace.